Hello, I'm going to wait until we fill up a little bit, but a few things I want to talk about. And first of all, before I really start talking about anything, I'm going to let a few more people get in here. Who's ever in the chat room, I appreciate it. As long as, okay, let's get rid of this Steven guy. Steven's gone. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to discuss a few things. I want to discuss the state of the show and what we're planning on doing. Yesterday's video was very successful. We almost had 4,000 hits on yesterday's video. And it's appreciated that people have really watched it. Unfortunately, we have some people coming here and giving it a lot of, right off the bat, I'm getting a lot of dislikes. So what I have been doing is turning it off pretty much. And I can put them up, but I'm only going to put them up if they're legitimate. And I also am going to do I have quite a few shows coming up, and these shows are going to be interviews lined up right now. And interviews I have are really big people. And I worked really hard on getting these interviews. And what I'm going to do with these interviews, I'm going to put them up like maybe 1 or 2 a week. And the interviews, a lot of them are former rats that will come out, and I will talk to them and I will question them like they are rats. I'm not going to be easy on them and pretend they're not rats. And one of the things that people did, you know, when I started saying I was going to interview anybody here, they automatically assumed that I'm with that person. I'm not with anybody. Okay, I'm with my family. That's who I'm with. Anybody that I come on here and speak to, I'm going to ask them tough questions. And I'm going to also hope that the people in the chat rooms can also ask them tough questions, not just me. And, you know, just because I'm saying that I'm going to interview people doesn't mean that I'm going to ask them easy questions. I have some surprise guests coming up, and you guys might have an idea of 1 or 2 of them, but I got some people way beyond that. And those are the people that I'm going to really talk to. And then I also want to talk about mob rats. Mob rats reached out and recently asked me, he said, hey, Lee, let's put this shit to the side. I agree with him. You know, it gets kind of worn out having to defend yourself when you got, like yesterday was Jimmy. Jimmy came on, they hit me and with the show, so I had to come back at him yesterday. Mob Rats came on and left a message and said, you know, he pretty much said, Lee, I'm sorry about your son. I shouldn't have done that. And let's just put this to the side. I think that when I mentioned to him that my son was in the military, all my children were in the military, and he's kind of a patriotic guy, I guess Mob Rat is. Maybe he understood it a little bit better. But we were both getting very personal with each other, too personal. My issue isn't with Mob Rats. My issue is with rats. I'm not going to pretend I like Jimmy Calandra because he has a big following and because he originally came on this show. That's not going to happen anymore. And that includes Sam Rigavano. And that includes anybody. You know, I'm going to respect guests when they come on here. I'm not going to get in their face and be nasty with them and stuff. And I'm not going to do it for anybody. I'm not going to make fun of people. You know, it's easy for people to make fun of people, especially the people that come into these chat rooms. They're like some odd people. Like today, I literally found myself taking off a blue t-shirt because of people making shrewd remarks. I said, fuck that. I'm not going to, you know, this is what I'm comfortable in. This is what I'm going to put on. I'm not going to let anybody control me in here. And so the chat's dead in here. Okay. Well, Mob Rats, UK, if the chat's dead, leave. Okay. So I do appreciate the great amount of hits we've been getting on the videos, and it's continuing. Any type of subscriber base I've lost has come back, and now we're going to start building it up with some of these interviews coming up. So if you can come up, let's see. I have some interesting shows coming up. One of the gentlemen I'm going to talk about is Chris Paciello. Ludwig, he also had a German name too, but he was part of the crew that actually killed the woman that Jimmy was part of. And he went down to Florida and he opened up a bunch of nightclubs. And I didn't realize he became one of the biggest rats in the history of rats. And he's out there now. He just bought a big mansion down in Miami. And I was reading up on this guy, and I didn't realize some of the people that he ratted on. I mean, this guy put a shitload of people away. And give me 1 second. I'm going to show you what he's done. I'm going to pull this up. Okay, 1 second, please. Okay, I got to find this. Okay, I'm just going to give me 1 second. I'm going to pull up this thing and just show you what I'm talking about. Okay, this is this article right here is about Chris Paciello, and a lot of things I found out about him when I did a lot of research on him. And I just want to read some of the stuff on this guy. He just bought a home in Miami last year. Well, it was before last year, and he spent $3 million on it. This guy was one of the biggest informants. You know, when this whole crew of these Bath Avenue guys got arrested, they all flipped. Every damn one of them flipped. They couldn't have flipped quick enough. And he was one of them. But the difference between him and the difference between the rest of the people is this guy was down in Miami at that time, and he had a bunch of clubs opened up. And he was really doing a lot with the mob down there. He was working with some really big people. And then what he did is when he got arrested, he actually had a higher bail than John Gotti. And do you know that he got bailed out? A couple actresses came up with his bail. His bail was like $10 million. And they came up with it. One of the actresses, Sofia Varga, she put up like $5 million, and it was her house. And they got this guy out of jail. And then he, in turn, became a huge snitch. He was supposed to do some real big time. He never really did much of any time, and he got out. And let's see, right here, I'm going to bring this up. Okay. So this is an ex-mobster turned celebrity. And this is one of the guys that ran with the Bath Avenue guys. Let's see, Brooklyn-born Chris Paciello. His real name is not, he's German. He changed his name to Italian, and he's an ex-mobster turned FBI informant. But not only did he inform, he informed on, and this is going to be another show, but this guy informed on a lot of people. And I just found, now he was charged with the murder of the woman shot in the head at Staten Island home invasion. And that's the murder I talked about yesterday that Jimmy Calandra was involved in. He served 6 years on racketeering charges and became the owner of South Beach night spots, including with Madonna and pal Ingrid Cesar as partner. And then after he got out of jail and stuff, he went out to California. He had a couple failures out there. And then he went back down to Florida. And he opened up the Bianca, is a restaurant in Delano, South Beach. And became a very successful spot. And then he opened up another club that's still open now. And he just bought this house. It's a 5,100 square foot house. It was built in 1931, and the house is worth several $1,000,000. This guy is a rat. This guy ratted out Persico. He ratted out guys, big guys. Not only did he, you got to remember, they ratted on him first. Jimmy Calandra, a bunch of people, they bought this guy. They mentioned that he was a part of a rat, but he didn't realize when he was down in Miami, he was working with a bunch of undercover agents, and they arrested him. And then when he came back, the fact that he got two women, this guy dated Madonna, Sofia Vergara. I mean, he was dating also Jennifer Lopez and a couple other women. And the funny thing is, he's barely Italian, but he goes around pretending he's Italian and that he's an Italian gangster. But there's no doubt this guy's a money man. He knows how to make money big time. And his story is just a fascinating story. And I'm going to cover it in more detail because today I just went over the general topics of it. I did some research on it and stuff. And I don't want to be pulling up clippings to describe this story. But this is one of the guys is with Jimmy. He was the driver when Calandra and Tommy Reynolds went to the house and killed that woman. He was the driver of the car. And the fact of the matter is, though, he is now down in Miami living in this huge mansion that he just bought right on the ocean. And he is a huge informant for the mafia. I mean, for the feds. He's a huge informant. And once you inform, they own you for life. So can you imagine anybody illegally wanting to do business with this guy? He's going to inform on you. But this guy was informing on people when he was down in Miami in the club scenes. He was putting contracts out on people to kill them. I mean, this dude is just a bad dude. And not only that, he's known as a street fighter and a guy that doesn't lose street fights. He's considered a real tough guy. He knocked out Mr. Universe with a bottle to the head, and the guy's picture was in the newspaper the following day, and he was all bloodied and beaten. They say that this guy, no one's ever seen this guy lose a street fight. And he's known for knocking out his bouncers when they answer him back. And, I guess he's around 50 years old now. He's the same age as a lot of those Bath Avenue guys are. But he was the baddest of the Bath Ave guys. Okay, not Paulie. This guy was the baddest. And I don't even know if you can call him a Bath Avenue guy because he just did jobs with them. I don't think he wanted to be considered one of them because he was kind of above them. He was much more intelligent. And he went on to work with a bunch of guys, major mobsters down there when he opened up his clubs. I mean, the Gambino started with him, and then he was owned by the Columbos, and they came down there and they took over and helped him with one of his clubs. A lot of money down there was behind him down there at that time. It's just an amazing story. And it's something that I'm going to do a complete thing about. I have a surprise interview on that story too. And it wasn't easy. Okay. So look at this dirtbag. Okay. Gosh almighty. You got so many jerks in here. Okay. Okay. So that is one of the shows I'm going to be on. Let's get back to Mob Rat. Okay. So Mob Rat basically says that he just wants us to go away. And I'm telling Mob Rat right now, let's just end it now. Keep me out of your mouth. I'll keep you out of my mouth. We don't talk about it no more. And it's over. Because I know you've been doing shows 3 o'clock in the morning. And then after you do them, you've been taking them down so I don't see them. And you make cracks like, oh, let's do this show while Lee's sleeping. So I think that you have a great show and that you're a funny show. But once you started to get into this beef with me, it became no fun anymore. So I'm just going to say what I'm going to do right now is whatever you want to do. But I still got a lot of assholes in here today. If people's noticed, just knock them out. Okay. Okay. So that's basically what I wanted to talk about there. And then I also know that tonight, a great interview. I was actually quite surprised to see the interview that was lined up on Bold Sicilian. Actually, I'm looking forward to actually watching it. So that I'm going to definitely watch it. I'm going to take some questions from here, you guys, and you guys can just ask me what you want. Let's see. Good to know. Yes, it is. Thank you. Okay. Okay, Lee, why don't you talk about your crimes and leave the bathroom boys out of this? The bathroom boys. Okay. Yeah, I could talk about my crimes, but I've done that before. God knows people have ripped me apart by putting all my history out there. So, I'll talk about my crimes when I'm ready to talk about my crimes. Okay. But, I'm not going to talk about the bullshit one that they brought up. Whose house is that? That house belongs to now Chris Paciello. If I'm not saying his name right, I apologize. Florida attorney. Chris Paciello at Marlowe Steinfeld. Okay. He always has good stuff. Lee, why don't you? Okay, we already did that. Okay. Is your Mexican co-host coming back? It's funny. I just got off the phone with him right before I did this show. We have some things planned. He's I consider him a good friend. And we were talking about doing some stuff. So, soon we'll be doing some stuff. Right now, he's working really hard on his show. And I would recommend that anybody goes to his, and that's Cane Shade Unk. Let's put up, we need to find a wise ass. Lee greeted me at Walmart yesterday. George, did you think about that all by yourself? Okay. Mob Rats. He wasn't part of the Bath Avenue. He wasn't the baddest at all. He was more ambitious, but not the baddest. I read several books and watched recent Vanity Fair series on Chris. No, he was the baddest. Okay? Because you know why he was the baddest? Because he could fight with his hands. He wasn't a guy that would shoot you in the back of the head. He was a guy that fights you to your face, fist to fist. So I consider that the baddest. Anybody could take a gun and shoot someone in the back of the head. So if you consider that like Paulie G is a bad guy because he would shoot you in the back of the head, or his friends were bad guys because they would shoot you in the back of the head. I actually read that people talk about this guy and they say that he's never lost a street fight. They've literally seen him get in the fight with 3 guys in the street and whip the shit out of them. To me, that's a bad guy. Not guys running around shooting guys in the back of the head. But Mob Rat UK and you and I guess we just disagree on that. Okay, Paulie G was... No, Paulie G's dead. Chris ain't. That has a lot to do with being a badass and surviving. And on top of that, Chris basically had a lot of connections with all the big mobsters. I got a lot more information on Paulie G sent into me too, and on why he was killed. There were several reasons why he was killed. It wasn't just one reason, and I'm sorry, if someone comes forward and says that Chris Paciello was a badass, you could tell by looking at him, the guy's in phenomenal condition. And then on top of that, every woman down there, every beautiful actress you could think of, they literally fight over this guy in the clubs. I mean, the guy has his shit together. It's quite obvious, but he's also one of the biggest snitches ever. I mean, he put a lot of guys away with really big names. You know why he did? Because he knew a lot of big guys. They were all working with him in the clubs down there. You know, it was the big guys and the big gangsters that were working with this guy. And when the time came, he ratted out one guy he didn't even have to rat out, and he claimed that this guy, it was his lawyer, that the guy was like a father to him. And the Fed said he didn't even have to rat on him. They weren't even looking for this guy, and he still ratted on him. He worked under the bath crew at this. Yeah, he worked. Yeah, he did. He was a getaway driver, but he did a lot of the planning. He was the smart one. He did a lot of the planning too. And he actually did a lot of for the bank robberies. He did a lot of the bank robbery plannings too. I know Jimmy Clanders is going to come on and say it was him, but come on, we know it wasn't Jimmy. Are you going to interview? No. Jeff Nadeau will never be on this show ever again. He needs to go get his own show. He's been on everybody's show but his own show. Yes, Christian Ludwigsen. That was his German name. And when Germans and Irish and stuff in those neighborhoods, a lot of people would just change their names. Germans, a lot of times, change them to Italian names. Okay, now we got Gene Barolo in here. Okay. Chris we just said that, but he worked with the Bath Gang. He did bank robberies with them, and he also was involved in the killing of the woman. Hey, Christopher, how you doing? I appreciate you showing up. I thought you and Jeff was buds, laugh out loud. Let me tell you one thing I'm learning about meeting people online. You get very few buds. You know, you can only trust so many people. That's what it comes down to. When Chris Paciello had his nightclub, he pulled so much teal. His nickname was the man that launched his ship on 1,000. Okay. He did. I was reading stories that when women came into, they would literally fight over him. They would be everywhere. And like these flies are, well, it's 102 degrees here today. So if you open up the door, the flies are coming like crazy. So basically, all the women wanted them. And they were the big women. They were women like Madonna, you know, and Sofia Vergara, who's like simply gorgeous. I mean, you know, and she put up her house. She put up $5 million bail for this guy. Can you imagine they gave this guy higher bail than John Gotti? Think about that. You're all being all mean with Jeff, then ask you a tough question. You got defensive. Okay. So I'm not here to talk about Jeff. Okay. If you want to talk about Jeff, go to his show. Okay. Let's get rid of this jerk. So, but you know, this is what they're going to do. They're going to keep coming in here, doing whatever they want, but that's okay. Lee Cole, since you're a baseball fan, as I am myself, who is your all-time favorite player, your favorite MMA fighter? Great question. My favorite player ever would be Don Mattingly. I love Don Mattingly. Greatest player ever. If his back didn't go out, I think he would have been the best ever. My favorite MMA fighter? Boy, that's a tough one. I don't even know if I have a favorite MMA fighter. I used to like Conor McGregor, but after he pulled the recent shit, no more, no way. I really don't have a favorite fight. I just love great fights. Lee, I think you are in love with Paciello. Okay, well, Joey Queens. This coming from a guy with a name of Joey Queens. Okay. It's not here too, but no flies in Jersey trying to get into my house. Okay. Bigwell, Jeff was the one that started yelling and got upset, laughed my ass off, which was and yes, you know, and he also had an opportunity to stop or talk to me or talk to someone else before they went on and did a show attacking me, but he didn't do it. And he's behind the scenes running around back and forth. So that's just what I think of him. Jimmy couldn't plan a slumber party. Probably true. I know Jimmy's really mad at me. He doesn't look too good lately. A-Light paid Paciello's bill, and he bat sales with bat sales. Okay. Love your show. It has become a nightly ritual. Keep trucking, Lee. I appreciate that, and one thing I do know I have here, I have solid base that's always here. And it's very much appreciated. I thank you, Willie. I appreciate that. Okay, let's see. Lee, would you agree that life just hasn't been the same since Ashley Madison hacked? I don't even know what the hell you're talking about, dude. Why did Jeff start yelling? Because he has little man complex. Little guys like to yell a lot. I met Phil Rizzuto once and spoke with him. Total gentleman. I met Phil Rizzuto I remember when I was a kid, I met him at the older Yankee Stadium when he came in. And that was like, he used to stop and talk to the people there. I remember when I was about 16 years old and I met him at Yankee Stadium. But that's when you could sit in the bleachers at Yankee Stadiums for $1.50. You can't even get any tickets at Yankee Stadiums cheap anymore. Wow, you should just stop already. You're making a fool out of yourself. Stop pointing your finger and look in the mirror. You know what, Joseph McDougall? Here's something to ask yourself. You actually spend your time here, every comment negative, but you spend your time here. So that tells me you really have issues, dude. If you're here just to insult me continuously, and that's all you got to do in your life, that says a lot about you, Joe. Yes, have rolled with the punches. The trolls are vicious. There they are. They're vicious. There's no doubt. They don't stop coming. And then they start going after your personal family. Then they start going after people around you. They're treacherous. They're like, and all they are people at home that have no lives. And they sit, sad, lonely, and they decide whose side they're going to jump on and attack. They don't have their guts to show their face here. They don't. That's what they are. Why am I because the people coming in putting up dick messages, they're going to be taken out. That's why. If I don't do that, then you're going to have so many dick messages in here. That's it. This show's been under attack. It's going to continue under attack. But the thing that I have that really pisses them off is a base that's always here that's very faithful. Well, according to Jeff, he doesn't wear a wig. He even pulled it the other day. Dude, stop deleting messages. I was just reading it because you don't like what you say. Don't delete the fucking man. Grow up. Okay, I think I'm going to delete that message. Okay. Lee Cole, good pick. For my favorite is Keith Hernandez or Jose Canseco. For M&A, it's Bass Rutten. Yeah, Bass Rutten. Bass Rutten is like the godfather of M&A, along with Fedor. Okay, Jeff got Napoleon complex. Poor little man. Jeff is a weasel. I'd get Chris to take him out into the vacants. Okay. Now, Jeff, you're being attacked. Jeff tells me that everybody likes him, and he doesn't understand why he's being attacked. Joseph is here every day to disagree. That's it. That's all he's here for. Every day to disagree. Everything I say, continuously attack. That's what he does. So to me, that's kind of pathetic. Why would you go on a show just to attack? That's it. That's all you do. Celebrity boxing, FBI. FBS would probably kick my ass. He's a young guy. Come on, I'm too old for that shit. I would last 30 seconds and be exhausted. Lee, when you went to Arca, did you have any problems? Did you have? I actually had a fight as soon as I got into holding cells. But after I had that fight, I had no more issues. You know, unfortunately, if you're a white guy and you're going into the cells, they're going to test you as soon as you get in. And there's no doubt about that. And they look at you, they see you, they say, oh, white boy, let's go kick his ass. And they'll ask you for your shoes and your feet or whatever. And you have to say no, fight, lose or win. At least they know that you have the balls to fight. That's what it comes down to. When people claim to hate you but remain in the chat, their irony is thicker than Lindsey Graham's favorite male escort. Lindsey Graham's the most... as a politician, there's nobody I hate more than Lindsey Graham, because he is the biggest phony that there is. He has no party. He has no sexuality. He doesn't know what the fuck he is. I mean, one day he loved Trump. The next day he hated Trump. In reality, he hated Trump. Yeah, the guy was he's just the sleaziest. Lindsey Graham is what gives politicians the worst name. What do you call? What's up with the downvotes, bro? Basically, what it is you see how many people come in here with negatives. They also attack the button. Sometimes I'll start a show with 30 buttons down, and the show hasn't even started. It's just people that are haters. That's all it is. It's people that are like mentally disturbed and have absolutely nothing to do except go hit people's down buttons. They're not basing it on the show. I actually wish they were basing it on the show. I can handle it if they're basing it on the show, but when you start off with 30 downvotes right off the bat and your show has not even started, it's bullshit. And I even had YouTube tell me it was bullshit, because all my shows used to get upvotes up until about 2 weeks ago. Then they started getting tons of downvotes. Never. I was always at 80 to 90% with my upvotes. And then that's what happened. Cool out. No one is lying to me. I do digital marketing for the living tools we use in the industry. Says our views are going down and his subscribers are going up. Yeah. Well, it's mostly going up, my watch time. And that's what I judge my show on more than anything, how long people watch. Florida attorney, that dude went totally crazy after his lover McCain died. Okay. Yeah, him and McCain were always together, remember? Don Logan, really? You do? Well, you can't do math if you can't count the subscribers number. Laugh out loud. Okay. But I'm not worried about that. All that stuff's going to go up. Yeah, because it's like being in a battle and you're hit with everything. And you guys know I've been hit with everything, and I'm still here. How much more shit are they going to hit me with? Out of everybody that was doing that, the smartest guy is definitely Mob Rats. And I told Mob Rats today, he asked me to let's just put a chill on this. No problem. So now it's up to him. If he does shows and doesn't attack me, we're fine. If he attacks me, then he's going to leave me no choice. But I'm hoping that he just does the better alternative and starts attacking the people he wants to attack. One on Fat Bowl Sicilians as Sicilians channel live stuck up for you. You, Lee FM, will talk so much crap. They're upset about Johnny A-Light interview. Truth be known, they want that interview. Something? It's just bullshit. It's because I said I would interview somebody, they're mad at me. They call me a rat and they say that I'm talking to him and I'm his friend now. Yeah, I don't even know this man. It's the most ridiculous shit I've ever heard. Looking forward to Johnny A-Light interview. I'm glad he's looking forward to it, I'm sure too, as long as people are fair to him. Be fair. Ask him tough questions, but be fair to him. Lee Cole, you think FBS or MRI boys, A-Light boys? What do you think is going on with all the M vote? Oh, I'm not going to I'm not going to get into that too much. I kind of have an idea because YouTube kind of helped me with that. But when YouTube sends you notices that something is wrong, they do it for a reason. And YouTube notices and they're watching to see exactly what's going on. Unfortunately, this is the fortunate part. Because of the way our society is nowadays, you remember when people used to give a shit about the ups and downs, and then YouTube started saying, we might eliminate the down button because people are sensitive about it. And so they don't take it as serious now as they used to take it. Thank goodness they don't. Because then, people could literally shut down your show by giving you nothing but down voters. Down, and then what happens is you don't get commercials and stuff. They're not interested. But that's changed with society. That doesn't even affect the show at all, to be honest with you. It's just a bunch of assholes pushing the down button before the show starts. People attack Lee for a couple of days. They were entitled to. But this has turned into bullying now, not down. Yeah, Marlo, that's what it's come down to. It's pure bullying. It's like get on the shit. And the more you fight back, the madder they get. Especially when they want you to stop. They literally want me to stop my show. That's what they're trying to do. I've been getting all sorts of flags. Once again, YouTube don't play with that shit. If you flag somebody, you better have a damn good reason for flagging them. That's funny. I'm going to do a show on that. Actually, what I'm working on a show on that right now with Vince McMahon and the story between myself and Vince McMahon and my brother. So I'm going to have a show worked out probably by the middle of next week. And it's going to have a lot of the interviews I've done and also my brother's done. And we're going to really get into the Vince McMahon story and really work on it and try to do more than just one or two stories. We're not haters. You're on YouTube hating yourself. No other people, Lee. Okay. So that's why you wrote that shit in capitals, dude? Because that's just the way it is. Congratulations on the interviews. I can't see if it's not getting a lot of views. Are you liberal, Lee? No. I think all politicians are full of shit, to be honest with you. I'm definitely not liberal. I mean, look what they're doing to the country right now. No, but I could honestly say, after everything that's going on, we have nobody representing us in Washington. Neither party is representing us in Washington. It's that simple. I mean, if they were, they wouldn't be pushing these $1 trillion bills through. They're going to push through $1 billion infrastructure plan, which is a great thing if you used it. But you know what's going to happen to that money? It's all going to be stolen. That money's they're going to build a couple roads. They're never going to build nothing. And you're going to have a bunch of rich people stealing $1 trillion from the United States. That's all that's going to happen. He should feed it miracle. Okay. I don't know what you mean by that, Randy, but Regina said, hi, Lee. That's a good way to start off, Regina. You're unpredictable, but hi, I appreciate you saying that. Exposed to truth, Lee. I'm trying to in a lot of areas. And the thing that saves me, I can have a show that I feel like is not getting off to a good start. But when I read the questions from the chat rooms, it saves my ass. It really does. It's good if you have a show, I would tell anybody, please make the people in the chat room part of the show, and it really helps out. Keep your head up, stay strong. These guys are all backstabbers. Yes, they are. There's no such things as making friends with other people that have shows on YouTube. There's no such thing as friends. It's ruthless. And a lot of people that have shows are just plain ruthless. And so you got to be ruthless back. And, I had 5 guys coming at me at one time. Even JC Cali. I wanted to put him on my show, but I did an interview with him, and it was the worst show I ever had view wise because he's very boring. And then he's doing a video it was kind of a funny video, but he's always making his snide remarks. And it's like everybody, it's like all these all these other channels. It's nonstop. It's just such bullshit. I basically have one thing to say to them. Fuck them all, really. Fuck them all. Lee, what do you think of Gunther Lindblom leaving the mob space and just going to, you know what? At least he knows what he's doing. And I'll be honest with you. Gunther is the one guy that has not jumped on the pile up train. He'll write me things every once in a while. He'll say hi to me and send me a email. He made a decision to get away from a very, very ugly, this mob thing you got a lot of ugly people in it. I can understand why he got away from it, especially they were attacking him personally. He gets attacked horribly, a lot of it's his fault. Like a lot of this is my fault. But he writes me emails. He says hello. I have no issues with Gunther whatsoever. I think he's more real than these other guys. No, Big Willie, he voted for Trump. I didn't say I'm not gonna talk about politics here because if you do that, they can literally shut down your station for getting into too much politics. Will you back the Blacklist this year? Miss you playing Jelly Bean. Okay. Can you imagine if someone would go out of their way to make a Vince K. McMahon remark just to put up an insult remark? It's like you really have to have no life. This is fake news about my wig, Jeff's wig. It's not a wig, goddammit. If Jeff's watching this, he hates me with a passion. He wants to see me have a heart attack during the middle of my show. Bullies suck. I stand with Lee. I beat bullies up in high school. Yeah, that they're bullies because they're online. And it's like it depends who the bully is. You have your bullies. Sometimes you can't see what they look like. Those are the worst bullies when you can't really find a face to fight back. That's very difficult. Jimmy Clandra, he's easy. I mean, just let him speak. These guys might be getting pressured, though, not to be publicly state. They are not mob related. Hootie actually said he got messages from boys saying, quit now. The damage is done. If there's any real gangsters out there, they got to be really upset by these guys that call themselves gangsters that ratted everybody out. Jeff Swiggs comes down to a drink every couple hours. Okay, we're gonna have to start a new station called Jeff Swig. I like Gunner, but he likes roids. I don't know if he's still on roids. I think he said he once was. I'm not sure if he still works out like that. They just shut down right-wing politics. The left can get away with anything. Yeah, they get away with anything. It's like, but you know what? They didn't shut it down. It's the Republicans are cowards. They're cowards. The Democrats are more ruthless than the Republicans. The Republicans are a bunch of pussies. And that's what they are. I mean, they shouldn't even be a party. They're a joke. They're putting this bill through Congress where $1 trillion to rebuild, they say. We know it's not going to be rebuilt. And a bunch of Republicans are voting for it. Why are they voting for it? Because they're going to get some money out of it. All this money, all these trillions spent in the last 3-4 months, probably the last year, all that money's disappeared. They sent out some scraps to us, the people. Do you realize how much, with all the money they've taken, do you know how much money they could have given to each American? I mean, it's crazy amount of money. Trolls that don't show their faces, spineless punks that live in mommy's basement, don't stoop to the level where your true fans will support you. Yeah, I'm going to get away from that. As long as no one attacks me, I leave everybody alone. That's what it comes down to. If someone attacks me, I'm going to attack them back once. And if they attack me again, I'm going to attack them again. Stop feeding into the negative comments, Lee. Okay. Did you play baseball? Yeah, I was an avid baseball player. I loved baseball. And baseball is my favorite sport ever. I love the game. I think it's by far the hardest sport there is. And if someone doesn't believe that, go try to hit a 99-mile-an-hour fastball. And then right after you try to hit a 99-mile-an-hour fastball, try to hit a curveball behind it or a changeup. It's crazy. Calandra's a fat. Well, why don't Jeff just brush his eyebrows back and look better? Jeff, this ain't me. This is these people going at you, Jeff. This is not me. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's normal. 45 downvotes. And think about it. This show has been on. There's no reason for it to have 45 downvotes, but it does. So what does that tell you, Ultra? I mean, think about it. So when this show's over, I'll turn it off and hide them. It's that simple. And it sucks I got to do that. But that's what they'll do. They'll just keep coming there. And then the next thing I know, I'll have like 50 upvotes and 160 downvotes. And this is by people that have not even watched the video. This is the state that we live in now. I like Jimmy C's show. Yeah, but Jimmy C's going to run out of material. He was only, he up until 23 years of age. Jimmy was only on the streets until he was 23. How many stories can you have? Jimmy C doesn't seem that strong, bro. I'm not impressed with him. No, he's falling apart kind of, especially with me. He doesn't, I don't know if you guys watched that video he did on me, but boy, he spent a hell of a fucking lot of time on me. Oh, there's no bigger cowards than rhinos. I hope every fucking one of them gets voted out of office. They don't fight for anything. They don't have a backbone. One thing you got to say about the Democrats is they got 10 times as much backbones as the Republicans. Didn't you guys get enough stimulus checks? I actually agree with you. I don't want a stimulus check. Some people could use them, sure. But then you get the stimulus checks out, then people don't want to go back to work because they're getting all that money for unemployment insurance. It's fucking crazy. All I know is the roads are terrible in the Midwest. Yeah, well, it depends where you live. I'm here in Texas. The roads are great. You'll see roads being rebuilt all over the state now, and it's Texas doing it. Texas uses their money right. It's not like a lot of states in the rest of the country. They're here in Texas, they're actually doing stuff. I mean, every other road in Texas is a brand new road. It's the state government. And in the Midwest, Illinois, what a joke. I think Illinois has the worst roads in the country. Joey Queens, I think the reason they turned on you was your interview with J.A. was full of soft questions. Jimmy A., I don't think they were full of soft questions. I had some people that say it was good. I mean, what do you call him? Am I supposed to say, hey, Jimmy A. lot? What do you know about Jimmy? I should ask him. I think we asked him just about every question there is to ask, and Jimmy said stuff. No, that's not the reason why. I wish that was the reason why. The reason why is because you have spoiled little brats like Jimmy Calandra that have good base. He has a good following, Jimmy. And people don't have the balls to attack him or stick up for themselves. Everybody's worried about what's going to happen with their channel. It's easy to attack me because my base out of everybody's show is the smallest. Except JC's, his is kind of pathetic. I mean, if you want to be put to sleep, Like if you're having trouble with insomnia stuff, just watch JC. That shit will put you right to sleep. I had him on as a guest when he was here, and I was like, man, I was like, please say something exciting, dude, and he never did. I like to see a light on. It's obvious he embellishes and uses Gotti's name for clout, but he was the real dude in the 80s and 90s. I mean, in the 90s, yes, he was. Anybody that say he wasn't a gangster, and by gangster I don't mean made man or anything. They're lying. Johnny A. Light was a gangster. Okay. Now we're gonna have to figure out, John. Lee Cole didn't betray Fatball Sicilian. Fatball Sicilian betrayed him. Levi wanted to tell me personal things about Lee. I told him I didn't want to hear it. I told people here there is no loyalty in this. There is no loyalty. And John, if that's you, you're totally right. There is no loyalty. Calandra isn't going to say anything else after you buried him yesterday. We keep saying that, but he does. I think what Jimmy does is he has a couple beers, and then he gets down by the computer and he gets mad, and he jumps on the computer and he starts getting silly. That when he attacked me like that, it's like, Jimmy, what the fuck do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to let you hit me like that and not attack you? You told me I don't wash my ass? Dude, you got ass police out there checking my ass? And then Jimmy Calandra called me fat. Yeah, I'm fat. But Jimmy shouldn't be calling nobody fat. I don't mind if skinny people call me fat, but when other fat people call me fat, I got titties. Jimmy has titties too. We got man tits, Jim. Both of us, me and you, got man tits. Jimmy C's going to Hollywood. If his story hits the big screen and he gets paid, maybe he'll donate some of the kids. Jimmy's story's not going to go Hollywood. He's been working on that. He's been going around. He sat down with Gene Barillo. He sat down with Hootie. He sat down. He just thinks it's going. Why? Would you rather watch his story or Chris Paciello's? I mean, can you even compare their two stories? One guy, went down and started $1 million clubs down in Miami, and then the other guy is at home in Brooklyn. Okay, I don't think Johnny A. Light lies about anything. I cannot help him prove who he was if I had a chance. He just has to know how to do it. Well, you got to remember, he gets attacked on a continuous basis. It's like online bullying, and same with the Gotti, same with Angel. A lot of people don't like her and they attack her. This is not fun being online like this. There's no, once you go online here, you know what's going to happen. And you're going to get attacked. But how much are you going to be attacked? Like you had Bull Sicilian come out. It's only a matter of time before they start attacking him like crazy. This is not a friendly business toward anybody. Everybody that's online eventually gets all the haters. And it's usually the people at home in the basements that have no life. It's easy for them to jump into the chat rooms and be tough guys. And if you see them in real life, you'd probably laugh your ass off. Hootie attacked you big time yesterday. He says he has your paperwork. I say this because I would find a rebuttal. I don't care about Hootie. Hootie can have my paperwork. Hootie can have whatever he wants. Hootie tried to hit me up for cash. He literally tried to extort me. And when I asked him if he was extorting me, he told me to go fuck myself, and he left. That's it. So Hootie could say whatever the fuck he wants to say about me. But I find, JC Loya, very slow and boring. I watched his show a bit. You know much about Cherry Hill Gang. Actually, I don't know much about the Cherry Hill Gang, but I can look into that. When people ask me to look into things, but I'm not going to lie to you and tell you I do. Right time to jump into the washing machine, I mean shower. Later, guys. Jeff Swigs. Wow. Elephants don't beef with ants. Ultra. Okay. Also, how do you people say John Elliott is lying when people have him come on his show saying he shot them? He was obviously around, just not directly under John Sr. I couldn't have said it better, Don. Just for the record, me and Lee haven't been talking. I don't know where Fat Ball Sicilian on Mob Raps gets this crap. Fat Ball Sicilian called me a rat because I exposed him for wanting 10K. Okay. Do you guys see that? And Hootie is a better male. A-Light, are you still collecting SSI? Okay. Lee, would you agree Courtney is the only hot Kardashian? Is that the one that was married to Scott Disick? Okay. I don't know. I don't watch the Kardashians, so I can't really give you much information. It seems DJ Vlade will interview anyone and everyone. I'm not knocking his channel, but I'm not a fan of his show. Do any shows verify who is legitimate in their claims and why they believe all you hear? Yeah, it's the truth. It's especially when it comes to mob stuff. They put on a lot of guys that may not belong there, but then they put on a lot of guys that do belong there. Oh, Sonny's movie, Shake My Head, Lee. Another lie from an errand boy, a liar, and then we got John Elliott. He's good looking. Okay, I lived in the block from the twins in the Canarsie, New Roy, so much more. It is true. Right? He's an 18-year-old kid without showing off he can take a big weed hit. Okay. Laugh my ass off, Vladdy. The feds be safely. And I'm not going to go far today, people, just so you know. I'm going to do probably an hour, 15 minutes today. How was Hootie involved in the mob? Was he like an errand boy? I can't tell what he did. Okay, really, your Democratic master Biden is a joke. Our country is a laughing stock right now. I agree with you. You know, I don't think Biden even knows where he is. It's kind of sad. I think that someone should turn him in for elder abuse, if you ask me. Lee, can you interview A-Lot's adopted son, Jesse, a child he... no, that's kind of personal, dude. No one has taken a focus on the crews like, be right back, BRSKHB, and all those other guys. Okay. The Gene Deal interview was good on his show. Hootie was incarcerated for dealing narcotics. And how many guys do we have in jail that have been incarcerated for dealing with narcotics? You know, when you really think about it, a lot. Yes, I would definitely looking forward to doing a show on Roy DeMeo. I mean, everybody was scared shit of Roy DeMeo. I mean, look who killed him. The guys he trusted killed him. Isn't that always the case? He is starting off his last couple of shows stating he was never part of the mob or part of the mob genre. I think the real mob pressured him. I don't know what happened there. I haven't really watched his show, so I can't really tell you. Ultra, same thing going on with Calandra and Gunner. Jason Lee, I look at K1, but I don't care for his politics, though. I like Banner, Arts, K1, Mark Hunt, and Host and Mark Hug. They're underrated, too. I actually like the Tim Pool show. I don't know if anybody watches Tim Pool. He used to be way to the left. He's come pretty much in the middle. I really enjoy his show. Biden doesn't know what day it is at the moment. Kamala Harris is waiting behind the scenes to see what's going to happen. I think she's an idiot. I think that they fear Kamala Harris becoming president because she's unelectable. She's absolutely unelectable. she's hated by her own party. They can't stand her. And she's getting older now, so there's no headboards to bang that. Attitude error. That's it. Attitude error. That's what it is. Listen, people, I want 1 hour today. I'm done. I'm going to call it an easy early show today. I'm going to get my dogs out. I'm going to do some cooking. But I appreciate everybody coming here today. And I will be back tomorrow. I'm going to start doing some more serious shows. Okay, let's get Vinny's important question. Lee, an important question. You have actually arranged an interview with John Wright. Did you reach out to him on his Instagram because you said you would do an interview with him on Thursday? I'm not going to give any guaranteed dates until he gives me a guaranteed date. I can't do that. But the fact of the matter is we've been in touch and we have talked about it. It doesn't matter how I have to reach out to him. Okay, well, I guess all of a sudden you guys put all these things in here. Lee, important question. Do you actually arrange an interview with actor? Do you reach out to, okay, yeah, well, I just pretty much tell you that. Yes, we are working on it. It's that simple. Yes, we are. Texas Ranger, thank you. I'm going to close it out with that because usually it's so negative. But you people have a nice night. Nice night. Have a safe night. It's 5:01 tonight. And I appreciate everybody who came to the show today. Thank you.